What kind of games pop into your mind when you think of stealth games? Assassin's Creed, Dishonored, Hitman, or maybe even Ghost of Tsushima? The thing about those games is that you've probably played some of these, or at the very least know of them. But one game that may have slipped under your radar is Styx, Master of Shadows. Originally from 2012's Of Orcs and Men, made by Cyanide Studio, Styx got his own game in 2014, and for an indie studio with no AAA financial backing, they cooked like yo! Now, what is Styx Master of Shadows all about? Let me tell you. You find yourself captured near a prison cell, unarmed, head spinning, and with your memories lost. The only thing you know for certain, thanks to an echoing voice in your head, is whatever you were trying to do obtain lies in the heart of the World Tree. A tree that holds the source of amber, a liquid that gives life, energy, and power to those who drink it. An extremely valuable substance that looks too similar to piss for me to wonder how it is produced. Your journey then takes you through the various areas of Akenash, where you will encounter many different enemy types, allies, and notable astounding foes. Yeah, that's probably a better wording. Now, you may wonder why enemy types were even brought up, because in games like Ghost of Tsushima or Hitman, even if you're spotted and overwhelmed, you can usually fight them off, or at the very least escape. Styx, in case you haven't noticed, is not exactly a skilled fighter. Although he is very nimble and can escape, once you're spotted by multiple people, it becomes increasingly difficult with most enemies being able to catch up to you due to them being larger and faster. And Styx can fight back, but only one enemy at a time. So although you can retaliate against a soldier trying to fight you, if two or more spot you, your best bet is usually to just get out of there. Which leads me back to enemy types. In the beginning, you will face your average soldier that does not get paid enough to pay full attention at work. But as you progress, you'll encounter enemies with a variety of ranged weapons, knights with armor too strong for your little dagger to penetrate, or enemies that sensitively react to sound, meaning you'll have to plan your way around them or get creative on how you take them down. Now, as for Styx, he's in it for himself. He does not give two fucks. Or, on second thought, he gives exactly two fucks. One of them is lions.
It's a bit like stepping into the lion's den, wouldn't you say?
When I step into a lion's den, it's to fuck a lion.
And the second fuck he gives is to your mama. You feel me? I'm sorry. Though Styx isn't just an arrogant douchebag, but due to his connection to Amber, he is able to create clones of himself to distract or attack enemies. Amber also allows us and our goblin friend to go invisible for a short time. These upgrades and others can be made at certain checkpoints, and the experience points can be distributed depending on how well you perform in the missions. So if you do a mission fast, do less unnecessary kills, avoid triggering alarms, do side objectives, or find valuable tokens around the maps, you'll be rewarded with more points to spend on upgrading your arsenal. For someone who barely knows anything about his past, our Akenash friend is surprisingly charismatic, making strong and decisive decisions, making jokes, and despite being rare, has sincere and passionate moments. The character development may not be on the level of some of the all-time great storytelling games, but for a game where the main focus is just to sneak around, these characters are not some that should be slept on. Another thing that should not be slept on is the setting. The moody and dark corners for you to sneak around and hide in, with corridors and undergrounds being lit up by torches and the glow of amber. Contrary to the moody setting, you'll encounter the opposite above ground, where you'll be nearly blinded by the sunlight, leaving Styx exposed with the lack of hiding places. Though, that's where his agility will come into play, as you'll have to maneuver above or below guards to avoid their line of sight. Now, something that may only play a small part in the game is the soundtrack. For those short tracks that usually play in the beginning of you entering a new mission or area, really give you a good feeling of what you're walking into. It could either be the uneasy yet relieved music that plays when you get back to your hideout, or the eerie instrumental that lets you know what kind of underground or royal palace that you're about to enter. It's short yet simple, and doesn't play for very long, but it always feels like a nice kickstart to a mission and really sets the mood for what kind of area that you are about to embark through. One final thing, I don't usually mind talking loosely about a game's story if it's an old game or if it's something that won't be a massive spoiler for one of a few reasons. but I genuinely don't want to spoil what happens halfway through this game, because it is one of the biggest plot twists I've ever experienced in all my years of gaming, making Marvel look like a 7th grader's assignment that was due at midnight. This is truly one of the most fun and engaging stealth games I've ever played. No, scratch that, one of my favorite games of all time, and I just really wish this game had a continuation. Wait. Styx, Shards of Darkness, just like Master of Shadows, is another Assassin's Creed-like stealth game.
I may climb on roofs and scale walls, but you won't catch me wearing a stupid white tabard with a hoodie.
Okay, maybe not. It is both exactly the kind of continuation you want, but at the same time, it is not what you'd expect at all. Unlike the previous installment, this game spends less effort creating an overarching storyline while putting a lot more effort into Styx as a character, with him from time to time breaking the fourth wall, whether it is regarding a mission objective, or better yet, whenever you die or fail a mission.
You are dead. No, I'm dead. You'll be out getting laid soon. Wait, lean in closer to the screen. Maybe not.
This second chapter of Styx's story follows the chaos that was left in Akenash, though we find ourselves in Thobin, a halfway abandoned village where one side is inhabited by crooks and thieves, and the other by goblins and greenskins, which have been labeled the Green Plague. Styx, who initially is coming back from a contract, finds himself being offered copious amounts of amber to steal an important scepter. As you might expect, something goes south and a third party gets involved, which leads to Styx being framed. This no longer is about completing a contract, this is about revenge. And it is personal. Very personal. Styx, in his pursuit of revenge, continues digging himself a deeper hole, and in a moment of greed and desperation, decides to make some uneasy alliances in order to finish what someone else has started. The skills you were able to do in the previous game are mostly base kit, though now your skill tree has been improved and has become a lot more versatile for whichever playstyle or objective you enjoy going for. Oh, I forgot to mention, certain missions actually have different endings, and the reward system has had a visual update, making it a lot clearer how well you've done and what areas you can improve for your next missions. Or if you decide to rerun said mission for different rewards or achievements. Shards of Darkness also has access to multiplayer, which allows you and a friend to experience Thobin and the different areas together. And it is so fun. Despite not having as much visual personality as its predecessor, Shards of Darkness did make a lot of improvements to character models, animations, and level designs. Thankfully, elves received a massive nerf, which allows them to enter the story a lot earlier in this game. But trust me, there's enough bullshit in this game to make up for it. One of the few disagreements I have with this game's writing is how a character from the first game that you have unfinished business with is downgraded to a side objective in the second game, rather than giving them a standalone quest, DLC, or even a whole game. Which leads me nicely into my final point. I have not given up on this franchise. As a matter of fact, many haven't. So my question is, when will Cyanide Studio reveal the third Styx game that the ending of Shards of Darkness has dancing in front of us like a striptease? I guess time will tell. Your move, Cyanide Studio. Your move.